My dear brothers and sisters, there are moments in life when everything feels heavy, when your prayers seem unanswered, your efforts unnoticed, and your dreams just out of reach. You try, you struggle, you push forward, yet nothing seems to change. And in those quiet moments, a whisper creeps into your heart, what's the point? Maybe it's not meant for me. But let me remind you of something powerful, something your heart already knows deep inside. Your Lord has never abandoned you. Every second you wait, every tear you hold back, every silent prayer you raise, it is all being seen, heard, and recorded. Nothing is lost. Not your patience, not your struggle, not even the smallest hope you carry within you. Sometimes we rush. We want things now. We ask, why not today? But what if today is not ready for you yet? What if the delay is actually protection? What if Allah is preparing something far greater than what you're asking for, something that requires you to grow, to become stronger, to become more patient? Understand this clearly. Delay is not denial. You may feel like giving up because you don't see results. But the truth is, the moment you are about to quit might be the moment you are closest to your breakthrough. And if you walk away now, you might miss what Allah has been arranging for you all along. So hold on just a little longer. Be patient, not because it is easy, but because you trust the one who controls everything. Be patient because you know that when the time is right, not your time, but His time, everything will fall into place in ways you could never have imagined. And when that moment comes, you will look back at every delay, every hardship, every unanswered prayer, and you will finally understand it was all perfectly planned. Patience is often misunderstood. Many people think that being patient means being passive, weak, or simply sitting back and doing nothing while life passes by. But in reality, patience is one of the strongest qualities a person can develop. It is an active state of the heart, a conscious decision to trust, to endure, and to remain steady even when everything around you feels uncertain. It is not about giving up control, it is about handing over control to the one who knows what is best for you. When you are patient, you are not ignoring your struggles. You are fully aware of your pain, your delays, your unanswered questions. You feel the weight of your situation just like anyone else. But what makes you different is your response. Instead of complaining endlessly or losing hope, you choose to believe that there is a purpose behind what you are going through. You choose to trust that Allah's timing is better than your own, even when it does not make sense in the moment. Think about the times when you desperately wanted something and it did not happen the way you planned. At that moment it felt like a loss, like something was taken away from you. But later in life, when you looked back, you realized that the delay or even the denial protected you from something or guided you towards something far better. That is the essence of patience. It is trusting before you understand. It is believing before you see the outcome. Patience requires strength because it goes against our natural instincts. As human beings, we want immediate results. We want quick answers. We want our prayers to be answered instantly. But life does not work that way, and there is wisdom in that. If everything came to you instantly, you would not grow. You would not learn the value of struggle, the beauty of perseverance, or the depth of reliance on Allah. When you are patient, you are building a silent connection with your Creator. Every moment of restraint, every time you hold back frustration, every time you continue to pray, even when you feel unheard, you are strengthening that bond. And that connection is far more valuable than the thing you are waiting for. Because once you have that connection, you will realize that your peace does not come from getting everything you want, but from trusting the one who decides what you get. There is also a deep sense of dignity in patience. It teaches you self-control. It teaches you not to react impulsively, not to let emotions control your actions. Instead of rushing into decisions you might regret, patience allows you to pause, reflect, and respond with wisdom. It protects you from harming yourself with your own haste. It keeps your heart calm even when your surroundings are chaotic. Patience does not mean you stop making effort. You continue to work, to strive, to pray, to improve yourself. But at the same time, you accept that the results are not entirely in your hands. You do your part, and you leave the rest to Allah. This balance between effort and trust is what makes patience so powerful. It frees you from anxiety because you are no longer trying to control everything. Sometimes, patience is tested the most when you see others getting what you have been waiting for. You may wonder why your time has not come yet. You may compare your journey with others and feel left behind. But patience reminds you that every person has a different path, a different timeline, a different story written just for them. What is meant for you will never miss you, and what misses you was never meant for you. In those moments of doubt, patience becomes your shield. It protects your heart from jealousy, from bitterness, from losing faith. It reminds you that Allah's plan is not based on comparison but on wisdom. You are not delayed because you are forgotten. You are delayed because there is something being prepared for you, something that requires the right time, the right state, and the right conditions. Patience is also an act of worship. It is not just a personal quality, it is a spiritual state that brings you closer to Allah. When you are patient, you are showing your trust in His knowledge, His power, and His mercy. You are acknowledging that He knows what you do not know, that He sees what you cannot see, and that He is capable of giving you something far beyond your imagination. And even when the waiting feels long, even when the silence feels heavy, patience reminds you to keep going, to keep believing, to keep holding on, knowing that every moment of patience is never wasted, every second of trust is being recorded, and every hardship you endure with faith is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and closer to the one who never fails in His promise. Every delay in life carries a wisdom that is often hidden from us at the moment we experience it. As human beings, we are limited in what we can see and understand. We focus on the present, on what we want right now, on what we think is best for us. But Allah, in His infinite knowledge, sees the bigger picture, the past, the present, and the future all at once. What appears to us as a delay, a setback, or even a rejection is often part of a much greater plan that we cannot yet comprehend. When something you deeply desire does not happen on your timeline, it is natural to feel confused or even disappointed. You may question why your prayers are not being answered in the way you expected. You may feel like your efforts are not being rewarded. But the reality is, not every delay is meant to harm you. In fact, many delays are a form of protection, a way of guiding you away from something that could have caused you pain, or preparing you for something far better than what you originally wanted. There are times when you ask for something with complete sincerity, believing that it is the best thing for you. But if you were given that exact thing at that exact moment, it might have brought difficulties you were not ready to handle. It might have led you down a path that distanced you from your purpose, or even from your faith. So the delay comes not as a punishment, but as a mercy. It comes to redirect you, to shape you, and to prepare you for something more suitable for your life. Wisdom in delay also lies in personal growth. If everything you wanted came to you immediately, you would miss out on the process of becoming stronger. You would not develop patience, resilience, or trust. The waiting period is not empty, it is full of lessons. It teaches you to rely on Allah more deeply. It teaches you to refine your intentions, to reassess your goals, and to grow into the person who is ready to receive what they are asking for. Sometimes the delay is there to align circumstances perfectly. There are factors at play that you may never be aware of: people, events, opportunities, all being arranged in a way that will eventually benefit you. If things happen too early, those elements might not be in place, and the outcome would not be as good as it could have been. So what feels like a slow process is actually a precise and carefully designed plan unfolding in the background. There is also wisdom in teaching you detachment. When you wait for something for a long time, you begin to understand that your happiness should not be tied to that one thing alone. You learn to find peace in your relationship with Allah rather than in worldly outcomes. You begin to realize that even if you do not get exactly what you wanted, you can still be content, still be grateful, still move forward with strength and dignity. At times, delays also reveal the true nature of your desires. What you once thought was essential may, over time, lose its importance. You may come to understand that what you were chasing was not truly beneficial for you. The delay gives you the space to reflect, to mature, and to see things more clearly. It protects you from making decisions based on temporary emotions or limited understanding. It is important to remember that Allah's wisdom is not always meant to be fully understood by us. There will be moments when you simply do not know why something is happening the way it is, and that is where faith comes in. Full faith allows you to accept that there is a reason, even if you cannot see it. It allows you to trust that the outcome will make sense one day, even if today it feels confusing. There are countless stories in life where people later realize that their biggest disappointments were actually turning points that led them to something far better. A missed opportunity leads to a better one. A delay in success builds the character needed to sustain it. A closed door pushes you toward a path you would have never discovered otherwise. But these realizations often come much later, after time has passed and the bigger picture becomes clear. In the moment of delay, however, it requires strength to hold on to this perspective. It requires you to remind yourself again and again that nothing happens without purpose. It requires you to silence the doubts that try to convince you that you are forgotten or overlooked. You are not forgotten. You are being guided, shaped, and prepared in ways you cannot yet see. And when the time finally comes, when what is meant for you reaches you, you will understand why it had to happen exactly the way it did. You will see how every delay played a role in bringing you to that moment. You will realize that if things had happened earlier, you would not have been ready, or the outcome would not have been as meaningful or as complete. Hardships are a part of life that no one can completely escape. Every person, no matter how strong, how successful, or how faithful, will face moments of difficulty. These moments can come in many forms: loss, failure, disappointment, uncertainty, or even a deep sense of loneliness. And when you are in the middle of such a trial, it can feel overwhelming. It can feel as though the weight is too much to carry, as though the situation will never improve. But what often goes unnoticed is that these hardships are not permanent, and they are not meaningless. They are temporary tests, designed with purpose, carefully placed in your life, to strengthen you in ways that ease and comfort never could. When everything is going well, it is easy to feel confident, relaxed, and at peace. But it is during hardship that your true strength begins to emerge. Challenges push you beyond your comfort zone. They force you to confront your fears, your weaknesses, and your limits. And in doing so, they give you an opportunity to grow. Without these tests, much of your potential would remain hidden, never fully realized. Hardships also have a way of bringing you closer to Allah. In times of ease, it is possible to become distracted, to take blessings for granted, or to rely too much on your own abilities. But when you are faced with a situation that you cannot control, when you realize that your own strength is not enough, you naturally turn back to your Creator. You begin to pray more sincerely, to seek help more humbly, and to depend on Allah more deeply. This connection that is built during difficult times is something incredibly valuable, something that often becomes a source of lasting peace and guidance. It is important to understand that hardship is not a sign that you are being punished or abandoned. In many cases, it is the opposite. It is a sign that you are being shaped, refined, and prepared for something greater. Just as gold is purified through intense heat, a person's character is strengthened through trials. The process may be uncomfortable, even painful, but the result is something far more valuable than what you started with. There is also a lesson in patience and endurance within every hardship. When you go through something difficult and you choose to remain patient, you will find that it becomes easier to navigate through the challenges and come out stronger on the other side. To keep your faith and to continue striving despite the struggle, you are building resilience. You are teaching yourself that you can survive tough situations, that you can keep going even when things are not easy. This resilience becomes a part of who you are. It stays with you, helping you face future challenges with greater confidence and strength. Another important aspect of hardship is that it helps you develop empathy and compassion for others. When you have experienced pain yourself, you become more understanding of what others are going through. You become more willing to help, to listen, and to support those who are struggling. Your own difficulties shape you into someone who can bring comfort to others, someone who can make a positive difference in the lives of those around you. Hardships also remind you of the temporary nature of this world. They teach you that life is not always smooth, that there will be ups and downs, and that true peace is not found in a life without problems, but in a heart that remains steady through those problems. This perspective helps you focus on what truly matters, guiding you away from distractions and toward a more meaningful and purposeful way of living. At times, the duration of a hardship can make it feel endless. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and you may begin to wonder when it will all end. But it is important to remember that no hardship lasts forever. Just as ease can change into difficulty, difficulty can also change into ease. The situation you are in today is not permanent. It is a phase, a chapter that will eventually pass, even if it feels long in the moment. During these moments, your role is not to have all the answers or to understand every detail of why things are happening the way they are. Your role is to remain steadfast, to continue doing what is right, and to keep your trust in Allah. Even when you do not see immediate relief, even when the outcome is unclear, your patience and perseverance are never wasted. Sometimes, the strength you gain from a hardship is not immediately visible. You may not realize how much you have grown until you face another challenge and handle it with more calmness, more wisdom, and more confidence than before. You may look back and see that what once felt unbearable has now will become a source of strength within you. Hardships shape your character in ways that comfort never can. They teach you lessons that cannot be learned in ease. They push you to become better, stronger, and more aware of your purpose. And even though the journey through hardship may be difficult, it carries within it the seeds of growth, transformation, and a deeper connection to the one who is always with you, guiding you through every trial, and bringing you closer to a state of strength and understanding that you have never reached otherwise. There is something deeply powerful about the moment just before a person gives up. It is often the point where emotions are at their highest, where frustration meets exhaustion, where hope feels like it is slipping away. You have tried, you have waited, you have made effort after effort, and yet the results you long for are still not visible. In that moment, giving up can seem like relief. It feels like letting go of a burden, like freeing yourself from disappointment. But what many people fail to realize is that giving up at that stage can close doors that are just about to open. When you stop trying, when you walk away completely, you cut off the possibility of what could have been. There are opportunities, outcomes, and blessings that require consistency. They are not given after a single attempt or even a few efforts. They come to those who continue, even when it is difficult, even when it feels like nothing is happening. By giving up too early, you may unknowingly step away from something that was very close to becoming a reality. Life does not always show immediate results. Some things grow slowly, quietly beneath the surface. Just like a seed planted in the ground, there is a period when nothing appears to be happening. You water it, you care for it, and still the soil looks unchanged. If you lose patience and stop at that stage, you will never witness the moment when that seed finally breaks through the cot, full surface, and begins to grow. Giving up during the unseen phase prevents you from experiencing the visible success that comes later. There is also a connection between persistence and preparation. Sometimes, the reason you have not yet received what you are striving for is because you are still being prepared for it. You are developing the strength, the discipline, the mindset required to handle it properly. If you were to receive it too soon, without that preparation, it might not benefit you in the way it is meant to. By continuing your efforts instead of giving up, you allow yourself to reach the level needed to fully embrace what is coming. Another important aspect to consider is that giving up can shape your mindset in a negative way. Each time you quit something prematurely, it becomes easier to quit again in the future. It creates a pattern where challenges are seen as signals to stop, rather than opportunities to grow. On the other hand, when you push through difficulties and refuse to give up, you build a mindset of resilience. You begin to see obstacles as part of the journey rather than reasons to abandon it. It is also worth reflecting on how many successful outcomes in life come after repeated failures. There are countless examples of people who faced rejection, delays, and setbacks before finally achieving their goals. If they had given up at the point where things seemed most difficult, their success would never have materialized. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is often not talent or luck, but the willingness to continue when others stop. From a spiritual perspective, persistence is closely tied to trust in Allah. When you keep trying, when you continue to make effort and maintain hope, you are demonstrating your belief that Allah's plan is still unfolding. You are acknowledging that just because you have not seen results yet, does not mean that nothing is happening. This trust gives your efforts meaning and direction. It transforms your journey from a series of random attempts into a purposeful path guided by faith. Giving up, however, can sometimes come from a place of misunderstanding. You may think that because something has not happened yet, it will never happen. But timing plays a crucial role in everything. What is not right for you today may become right for you tomorrow. What is delayed now may arrive at the perfect moment later. By giving up, you remove yourself from that timeline. You step away from the process that could have led you to something meaningful. There is also a hidden strength in holding on when everything within you wants to let go. It is not easy to continue when you feel tired, when you feel discouraged, when you feel like your efforts are not being recognized. But that is where true strength lies. It is not in the absence of struggle, but in the ability to keep going despite it. Every step you take forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to your goal. At times, full persistence may not immediately give you the exact result you were expecting. But even then, it is never wasted. The skills you develop, the lessons you learn, the strength you build, all of these become part of you. They prepare you for future opportunities, for different paths that may open up, paths that you might not have even considered before. Nothing you do with sincerity and effort goes to waste. So when you feel like giving up, it is important to pause and reflect. Not every situation requires you to continue in the exact same way, but completely abandoning your efforts without careful thought can lead to regret. It is often better to adjust, to learn, to improve your approach, rather than to walk away entirely. Because the moment you choose to keep going, even when it is hard, you keep the door open for possibilities that are still on their way. Possibilities that you may not yet see, but that are slowly moving toward you, waiting for the right time to appear and change. Well, everything you once thought was impossible, true success, is often misunderstood. Many people define it only in terms of results, achieving a goal, gaining wealth, receiving recognition, or reaching a certain status in life. While these things can be part of success, they are not the full picture. Real success goes much deeper than what is visible on the surface. It is rooted in the journey, in the consistency of effort, in the strength of faith, and in the ability to remain hopeful even when the path is uncertain. Those who truly succeed are not necessarily the ones who get everything quick, but the ones who remain steadfast, patient, and committed no matter how long it takes. Steadfastness is one of the key qualities that shapes a successful person. It means staying firm in your values, your beliefs, and your purpose, even when challenges arise. Life will test you in different ways. There will be moments when things become difficult, when your plans do not work out, when you feel like you are not making progress. In those moments, it is easy to lose focus, to become distracted, or to give up entirely. But those who succeed are the ones who hold on. They do not allow temporary setbacks to define their journey. Instead, they continue moving forward with determination and trust. Hope plays an equally important role in achieving true success. Without hope, it becomes very difficult to keep going. Hope is what keeps your heart alive during difficult times. It is what allows you to believe that things can improve, that your efforts will eventually bear fruit, that your prayers are not in vain. When you are hopeful, you are able to see beyond your current situation. You are able to imagine a better outcome, even if you cannot see it yet. This vision gives you the strength to continue, to keep striving, to keep believing. Consistency is another essential element that cannot be overlooked. Success is rarely the result of one big action. It is usually the result of many small actions repeated over time. It is the daily effort, the small steps, the consistent attempts that gradually build towards something meaningful. Even when progress seems slow, consistency ensures that you are still moving forward. It prevents stagnation and keeps your journey alive. Those who succeed understand that even a little effort done regularly is far more powerful than occasional bursts of energy, followed by long periods of inactivity. There is also a deep connection between success and patience. When you combine patience with consistent effort, you create a powerful force. You are no longer rushing or forcing outcomes. Instead, you are allowing things to unfold naturally while continuing to do your part. This balance reduces frustration and increases resilience. It helps you stay calm and focused, even when results take time to appear. Another important aspect of true success is the ability to maintain a positive mindset. This does not mean ignoring difficulties or pretending that everything is perfect. It means choosing to focus on what you can control, choosing to see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow, and choosing to remain grateful even for small blessings. A positive mindset protects you from falling into negativity, from losing motivation, and from giving in to despair. From a spiritual perspective, true success is closely linked to your relationship with Allah. It is not just about